authors allowed to use movie and TV clips to promote their books on social media? Let's talk to everybody's favorite IP and entertainment lawyer, Tony, to find out more.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
Authors all over social media have been using movie clips and TV clips to promote their books. Sometimes it is the scenes transforming into their books. Sometimes it's just the clips and connecting it to their books. Is this something we can legally do, Tony?
The answer is going to be no. It's a nice, short, sweet answer. But let's kind of understand why that is. So first thing, we've talked about it plenty of times. You can check out the playlist. I've said it ad nauseum. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about films, television shows, artwork, sculptures, any work of authorship, those are automatically protected under copyright law. So when we're talking about films and television shows, that type of media in particular, those are protected under copyright, and likely the copyright vests with a studio or a production company. So let's use Disney as an example. Obviously, films like Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, to even the Pixar movies, all of those are under the copyright of the Walt Disney Company. Maybe more specifically for some of them, Disney Animation Studios. For others, it may be Pixar, but you get the idea. It's all part of that family of the Walt Disney Company. When you use someone else's copyrighted work to, let's say, promote your book, promote your service, whatever it is, that's when it becomes a bit problematic, mainly because you're now taking that copyrighted work and you're providing some type of commerciality to it. You're using it in a commercial context that falls outside the context of the original program or the original format in which that movie was featured. Now, I know that there's going to be a smart aleck out there saying, oh, well, transformative fair use, doesn't that apply? And listen, fair use, I've said it before, is one of the most used and abused terms in the copyright space. But I always tell my students this all the time. In any fair use analysis, you always want to ask yourself, step one, the question, am I using this copyrighted work for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research? If I am not using it for any of those purposes, then that's when your fair use argument falls out the window. Classic community chest card from Monopoly, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So this is the classic scenario where you have to ask yourself, is my use of a Disney movie to promote my book for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research? More specifically, how am I criticizing the Disney clip? How am I commentating on the Disney movie? How am I providing some type of news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research in affiliation with that Disney film? The answer is you're not. You're not directly commenting on it. Instead, you are using that film clip as a vehicle to promote your product. So it's almost like to say, Little Mermaid, let's use that as an example. Let's say you have a book coming out about this, class of siren mermaids, and they're not just your typical siren mermaids, but they're superheroes, and they're out there to blast the civilization to shreds. You can run with that idea, Kim.
I'll read it.
I give you permission. If you let's say used a clip from Jodie Benson's version of Little Mermaid, or even the live action version of Little Mermaid, to kind of say, I think this mermaid is too nice, and then you transition to your book, that's where obviously it becomes a bit problematic, because you're using your book as the vehicle to promote sales and make people buy the book and read it and all that, but you're using the Disney film as that vehicle to help promote and encourage those sales. That's why obviously the traditional norm of doing something like that would require going to Disney Animation Studios, getting that permission, getting the license agreement, and having your way with it. But obviously, this is just using it in that out of context format for commercial purposes. That's a very much non-kosher way of doing things. And obviously that could, land you in a lot of trouble. Likely, if you're doing this on social media like TikTok or Instagram, maybe this could be grounds for a potential DMCA takedown. This could even be an email from legal at these production companies telling you, hey, we took notice that you're using our movies and TV shows to promote your product. Please stop. And then at that point, you have no choice but to comply with that request.
And we have lots of videos where we've discussed next steps. If you are getting that takedown notice, we have videos on how to respond to that, how to deal with that as a creator getting those takedown notices. So make sure you check those out. If you've got further questions on this, go ahead and drop it down below. Now, here's the key for today's video. If you are an author on social media, and I know you all are, and you have seen things that you think, am I allowed to do that? Now is the time to get into my questions. Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes, and we want to cover everything because we talk about a lot here. We keep you safe and legally protected in this space. But people do it on the internet anyway. And then a lot of people say, but other people have done it, it must be fine. That is not true. And that's not going to help you if you get in trouble for this. So if you question something, if you're not sure, this is your opportunity. Get into my chats and tell us what you're seeing. And Tony is coming back to answer questions about it later. And if you need to, you can probably also sneak into his DMs and be like, hey, listen, this video, is this okay? You can reach out to him on social media. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IQ Professor, and you can check out my entertainment law podcast called End Scene. New episodes drop every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Drop your questions down below because Tony is coming back for upcoming episodes and we want to get your questions answered. Seriously, now is the time to be reaching out to get those questions answered based on what you're seeing on social media right now. And we'll see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the world of publishing so that this is your most profitable and easy year ever. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.